They want you looking in the wrong direction. They want your eyes glued to the candles on your screen while they quietly rewrite the rules of the game in a penthouse somewhere above Manhattan. Every time you think you caught the whales slipping, that they finally took a punch to the face, you are actually watching the most expensive trap in America. A trap funded by losses that are not really losses. Controlled damage, strategic casualties, temporary weakness designed to lure retail confidence straight into the jaws of Wall Street. The market lives on theater. The best illusionists are the ones with unlimited liquidity. They play the long script. You play whatever TikTok taught you this morning. Imagine you are a shark in a kiddie pool. You wake up at 6 a.m., coffee in one hand, Reddit open on the other, telling yourself this is the day you flip your paycheck into generational wealth. The charts look clean. Support looks strong. You get excited and start to believe the institutions must see what you see. Except here's the truth. They already saw it months ago. They built that support zone for you. They crafted that bullish narrative so carefully that confidence would bloom exactly on schedule. Then with precise timing, they sell into your dreams. What looks like weakness is actually bait. A red candle that shakes you out is not a mistake. It is a sacrifice, willingly paid, to collect your emotional liquidity. They train you like a casino trains tourists, give you a win sometimes, show you hope, then take everything back with interest. Picture a giant hedge fund setting a goal to accumulate shares of a stock quietly. They cannot just buy, because the more they buy, the higher the price runs. Retail sees green, and suddenly everyone rushes in like moths toward a bright neon sign that reads easy money. So instead, the big players take a controlled step back. They sell a chunk, price dips, retail panics. Stop losses trigger in neat rows because everyone places them at the exact same technical levels. Fear multiplies faster than rabbits. Who is on the other end of that fear, collecting those shares at a discount? Not your uncle who trades on weekends. Not the guy who keeps posting to the moon memes. It is the same institutions who pretended to panic just moments earlier. They spent a tiny fraction of their capital to create a story that made you hand over your position voluntarily. They fake weakness to harvest your confidence. They fake tears to collect your tears. People love to brag about being contrarian traders in America. They say they do not follow the crowd, yet they follow every crowd signal perfectly. They wait for confirmation. They buy breakouts. They trust volume spikes as evidence of strength. They close positions when they hit a popular support level. Controlled loss strategy feeds on those habits. Institutions know the exact points where retail feels safe. As soon as retail finally enters and feels brilliant about it, that is when the exits are already locked. The party confetti is actually shredded bank statements. Let me tell you a scenario that happens almost daily in the U.S. equities market. A stock rockets up hard pre-market after an upbeat press release or a celebrity tweet. Retail traders wake up, dump their savings into the open, thinking they are early. Except someone is selling to them aggressively. The stock trades sideways for a bit. People breathe. They think they are safe. Then the rug comes. A cascade. A waterfall. A horror movie where every candle is a jump scare. Retail stops out at the worst moment. They rage. They panic. They swear they will never trade again. Meanwhile, smart money quietly re-enters because now liquidity is clean and the price is exactly where they wanted it. The pain you feel is their entry signal. Controlled losses are the camouflage of Wall Street. You see a giant red day on a bank or a tech giant and think the wolves finally got bitten. They laugh because that tiny percentage drop is the fee they paid to get retail to step forward with open wallets. They win by appearing vulnerable. They engineer a narrative of defeat so you feel like you can win. The more you think they are failing, the more aggressively they are taking control. Look at any popular retail strategy. Breakout trading, trend following, pattern recognition. Even high probability setups become ammunition for the institutions. They watch where those patterns form. They know exactly how to break them just long enough to trigger retail fear. Then they restore the trend like nothing happened and ride the momentum retail created when rushing back in at higher prices. The controlled loss is not random. It is plotted. It is the fake punch that sets up the knockout. Even news cycles become part of the loss plan. They release bearish articles right before loading. They release bullish articles right before unloading. Analysts become storytellers. Headlines become emotional triggers. You click because you care. They plant the story because they want you to care. You are responding to a script they wrote days before. They reduce your financial decisions into predictable reactions. Everything you think you discovered, they already priced in. Ever noticed how the perfect trade always turns into a losing trade right after you enter? You feel cursed. You blame fate. You call the market manipulated. You are not wrong. The market is manipulated, just not the way you think. It is manipulated by controlled losses. Institutions push price a little below support because they know your stop is sitting right there, trembling. They take that liquidity like they are picking fruit. Then they pivot and run. You sit there questioning every life decision. They sit there celebrating another predictable harvest from the orchard of emotional trading. Retail traders love to worship risk management. Nothing wrong with that. Smart money worships stop-loss hunting, which is risk management turned into a weapon. They intentionally move into lost territory because the reward of triggering your fear is worth every penny. You think their strategy looks messy sometimes. Ugly drawdowns, sharp intraday whipsaws. You comment in Discord, "This chart is insane." Yet that chaos is the hidden order. That mess is where the money is made. It is in the controlled red that the green is secured. Many retail traders believe they are dancing with the market. The reality is harsher. Institutions are leading. You are dancing backward in heels. They decide the music. They decide when the tempo changes. They decide when you fall. Now let's crack open the real psychological secret. Smart money understands something retail tries to avoid. Loss is the single strongest emotional motivator in markets. Not profit. Loss. They turn loss into a tool. They invest in staying unpredictable. They weaponize temporary pain. They accept small bleeding so they can feast on your panic later. It is like a lion who pretends to retreat only to circle the herd and attack when the weakest run. Picture this. A billionaire trader stands behind glass windows overlooking New York. His team shows him a chart that looks like a disaster. Retail thinks that billionaire must be sweating. Yet that billionaire sees something different. He sees trapped shorts above. He sees retail longing into weakness. He sees liquidity pools wrapped in fear and hope. He knows one move will wipe out thousands of small traders while filling his own pockets. That billionaire does not see red. He sees harvest season. You tell yourself institutions move the market. They do, although not by brute force. They move it by moving you. They let you think you are the one deciding to sell. They let you think you spotted the breakout. They let you think you read the fundamentals. They let you feel smart right before they take your money. A magician does not trick you with spells. The magician tricks you with assumptions. So now you ask yourself what to do. Should you fight the whales? Should you trust nothing? Here is a different idea. Stop playing the game they built for you. Begin thinking like them. Look for the moments where weakness looks too theatrical. Watch when price breaks support only to snap back instantly. Notice when the narrative becomes a little too easy to believe. Trust the chart less. Observe behavior more, not price behavior. Trader behavior. Real edge in America is not competing on strategy. It is stepping outside the predictable human instincts they exploit. If you stop reacting emotionally, you remove the fuel from their machine. Every controlled loss by institutions has a purpose. Every trap they set has a target. They buy fear. They sell hope. They use red as camouflage and green as bait. The market is not a puzzle to solve. It is a psyop funded by billions. They fake defeat because you get brave when you think the giant is wounded. You step forward trying to finish the beast. Yet the moment you thrust the sword, you realize you never pierced flesh. You stabbed into air and handed the giant your weapon. The loss you saw on the chart was a costume. The real damage was invisible and aimed straight at your capital. If you can remember just one thing today, let it be this. Whenever it looks like institutions are losing control, that is exactly when they are controlling everything. That small dip you cheered was the opening of the jaws. That big breakout you bought was their exit plan. Controlled loss is not weakness. It is a quiet execution of power. So the next time you trade in the American markets, do not assume the whales are drowning when you see red. They are simply swimming deeper and dragging retail down for oxygen. If you found this truth uncomfortable yet weirdly thrilling, you are my kind of trader. Hit subscribe right now. Share this with someone who keeps blowing up their account because they believe every green candle is a sign from destiny. And check out the other videos on this channel. We are just getting started pulling back the curtain on Wall Street's hidden strategies. Because knowledge in this market is not just power, it is survival.